I'm hushing the dog on the chain. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself. I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold, bracing for news that I can't bear to hold. Oh, I'm singing this song to myself. I sing this softly to myself.
The beloved flower that once took over the world and drove royalty and dignitaries mad are now blooming in sheer force within my garden. And today, I'm taking you along with me as I harvest and sell my tulips. It has been a wet and unpredictable spring here in Maine, although that tends to be our usual. I've been steadily finding pockets of time between the rain to take down remnants of last year's garden. Posts around the garden beds have now been removed and repurposed in the new cut flower garden in the backyard. And slowly but steadily, I have been tidying away. In this time, it was almost as if a magician had waved their wand and cast a magical spell for the tulips to simply flourish overnight. Well, this is the first arm bushel of tulips harvested this year, and it's very interesting that primarily all of the ones that have been ready have been yellow. So I don't know what that means, but I am picking them as I go. Right now it's manageable because they just started really opening up about yesterday. So in terms of when I like to harvest my tulips, I do try to harvest them with the bulbs on, and I just compost those in my backyard under the pine trees. And what I've noticed are the bulbs that I composted last year, some of them are sprouting tulips under my pine trees. So love that. I wasn't even expecting that they would produce any blooms because I do harvest them like this. So that's a welcomed surprise. But in terms of how or when I harvest my tulips, I look to see if they're at kind of the cracked bud stage, what I've heard, but also if you can tell what color the tulip is on the outside, then it's ready to harvest. So the cracked bud stage is when just the tip starts to crack open. You don't want to harvest them when they start to open up because they won't last as long in a vase. And since I'm selling these, I want my customers to enjoy the blooms for as long as possible. So those are some of the things that I look for appearance-wise, and when I harvest them, I go all the way down the base of the neck to the soil, and I kind of try to wiggle just a little bit to see if I can loosen the soil and pull up from there. Sometimes what will happen is the stem will pop off from the bulb, which is fine, because homegrown tulips really do, they grow pretty long on their own, so I'm not too worried if I don't harvest it bulb and all. So what I'll do, I will put the ones where the bulb has come off into some water, and then the others, I'm just gonna leave it all, I'm gonna leave them all anyway in my basement because it's so cool and dark down there until I'm ready to put the flower stand out. And I think I'll do that maybe tomorrow. I think will be a good day. So hopefully we'll have a few more then overnight and early tomorrow morning that will ripen up, and I'll add those to the bunches as well too. So hopefully we'll have a couple more to add to the mix tomorrow, but a much welcome sign of spring. In the wee early hours on a foggy, dewy spring morning, the tulips and I awaken together. It's mornings such as this that I have been waiting for all winter. there is something so magical about wrapped bouquets in brown craft paper. The texture, the feel, the look is all so romantic to me. And yet it's sturdy enough to support the bouquets, but also helps to showcase the beauty of your flowers. And it just makes me smile. Well, it's a new day here, new morning, and I have been busy, as you've seen, harvesting tulips as they've been ready as fast as I can. I've been averaging so far between 100 and 200 tulips. Gosh, every day for the last few days, except yesterday, I took the day off from harvesting tulips so that I could work on my backside garden. But today, I think I'm going to be harvesting the tulips that are the last to be ready, or the last that are viable for me to pull, that haven't opened to the point where they're too far gone. So it's a bittersweet day. We're coming up on Mother's Day week at the moment. Last Friday was the busiest day I think my flower stand has about ever had, which is wonderful. I'm so excited. And you know, unfortunately tulips aren't around forever, so there's just a sweet little spot or little window when they are open, and I just have to put them out regardless of the weather, and sometimes the day too. So I have quite a few that I'm going to put out today, tomorrow, and see just how many I can put out this week before Mother's Day. So this is the last week for tulips. So after the tulips are all gone and pulled, my garden will be steadily growing away the next round of crops. And I'm thinking I probably won't have flowers other than my peonies, which I'm expecting by the end of this month, or June, early June. I think the bulk of my flowers won't be ready in my cut flower garden that I just created. Probably, oh gosh, I'd say maybe end of June. Fingers crossed. I'm growing a whole slew of different flowers, but I'll show you that in a different video. Today's video is still all about the tulips, so I'm going to take you with me on my last day of harvesting tulips and making bouquets for the cut flower stand. Alright, so I've got my little gloves on, and it's time to pull the last remaining tulips of 2024. I hope you've enjoyed seeing so far what the tulips have looked like, but I think I'm just delaying at this point because it's going to be so sad. But also I'm really happy that they get to be in the homes of my neighbors and enjoyed in their own homes. So, all right, let's go take a look at what the tulip garden is looking like one last time before I start pulling them up. Let's go.